This week's Torah portion, Shoftim, reads like a Jewish political science 101. Right? We're told about the three sanctified pillars of society: the judicial system, the spiritual system, right? The sort of philosophical, the purpose that we look for, and at the heart of this, the most political, the form of governance, which is meant to sort of lead us forward. Now, it's clear in Shoftim why we need judges, why we need the Kohanim, but when it comes to the political, when it comes to the form of governance, there's a huge question mark, and if you ask me, it is the two most challenging, most difficult verses in the entire Bible, two verses which are challenging until this very day in the state of Israel. We are told in the first verse, the 14th verse in Shoftim, and in the Sheni, we are told, we are going to come to the land, we are going to conquer the land, and then we will ask for a king like the Gentiles. Then the second verse says, you shall put upon yourselves a king that God will choose. Now, this sequence makes no sense to me whatsoever. Like, what is going on here, right? You would have thought, like other commandments, if this is a commandment at all, the theme usually is, this is what, we're going to come to the land, we'll conquer it, and then we shall choose a king which God wants, or we will have a king that God chooses. Why this, odd sequence of we're going to come, we're going to want a king like the Gentiles, and then there could only be a king that God wants. But in the first place, perhaps he didn't want one at all, because why would we say we want a king like the Gentiles? What is going on here? It's confusing. Let's go back to why we were chosen. Why are we the chosen people? We're not chosen because we're the chosen people because we're good boys and girls. We're the chosen people because we have a role to play, and when we are faithful to that role, then only and then we are the chosen people. And what is that role? God chose us lehavdil, to differentiate us from other nations. What that purpose is, who knows, but that's what God wants. Now here's the interesting thing. He brings us to the land of Israel to differentiate us. And yet, when it comes to the verse dealing with a king, what greater symbol is there to the leader of a nation than the king? Only in this verse to do with the commandment, or question mark commandment, regarding a king, are we told that the Israelites want to be like the rest of the Gentiles. The people that are meant to differentiate themselves when it comes to choosing a king want to be like everyone else. This points to an intrinsic problem in the plot. On the one hand, we have been chosen to be a differentiated people, right? To come to this land called Israel, where there were these horrible Canaanite people that perhaps God had this pre-existing vendetta with, and that's why we need to come here and be differentiated in order to fix the world or whatnot, fix ourselves. And yet, where it matters most to be different, we want to be like everyone else. And I think this is the problem. This is the challenge we have until today. This is the greatest challenge of what a Jewish state should look like. On the one hand, we want democracy. On the one hand, we want... What does it need to look like? And I think this is the one thing that God has not told us. He says, this balagan, this mess, I'm going to leave for you to sort out. You together need to have shalom bayit. You need to be together. You need to have peace between your brethren and sisters and decide what is it going to look like. But I think this is the greatest challenge. And we see it in the Jewish poly-sci of Shoftim. The people that want to differentiate themselves when it matters most, want to be just like everyone else. How do we reconcile this problem? Shabbat Shalom.